Have you ever felt uncomfortable talking about death? Do you shy away from conversations about your final days, or avoid acknowledging the inevitable? If you're like many older adults, you might not want to face the topic at all. But what if I told you that avoiding this conversation could be affecting your mental health and overall well-being more than you think? Research reveals that up to 80% of seniors avoid talking about death. But why? Why is it that we, as a society, find it so difficult to discuss such an important part of life? Death is inevitable, yet many of us pretend it doesn't exist or push it away. This avoidance can cause emotional stress, anxiety, and even strain our relationships with loved ones. In today's video, we'll explore why so many seniors avoid discussing death and why this topic needs to be addressed for the sake of our emotional health. We'll also look at a revealing study from a psychologist that sheds light on this phenomenon and share practical tips on how you can begin to embrace the idea of death in a healthy way. Stay with me until the end, as I will reveal how confronting this topic can actually help you live a fuller, more peaceful life. Let's get started. Reason 1. Fear of the unknown. The first reason seniors avoid talking about death is the fear of the unknown. Death is a concept that, for many, remains mysterious and frightening. We all know we will die one day, but the exact details of when and how remain out of our control. This uncertainty triggers fear. The science behind it. Psychologists suggest that our fear of death, known as thanatophobia, is a natural human response. A study by the American Psychological Association found that the fear of death can lead to anxiety, depression, and avoidance behaviors. In fact, 60% of people who avoid death-related topics report feeling stressed or uneasy when the subject arises. Story example. Meet Richard, a 72-year-old man who lost his wife several years ago. Richard had never discussed the possibility of his own death with her, and he now finds himself anxious about the thought of it. He keeps pushing the topic away, even though his health is starting to decline. Richard's fear of the unknown prevents him from having a more fulfilling relationship with his children and grandchildren. Practical tip. Acknowledge your fear of the unknown, but don't let it control you. Talk to a therapist or counselor about your anxieties and start to build a comfort level with the idea of death through small, manageable conversations. If you've ever felt fear or unease around talking about death, comment Reason 1 below and share your experience with us. Reason 2. Cultural taboo around death. Another significant reason why seniors avoid discussing death is because of the cultural taboos that surround it. In many cultures, death is seen as something to be feared and avoided in conversation. We are taught from a young age to avoid discussing unpleasant topics like death, and this cultural norm carries over into our senior years. The science behind it. Cultural influences play a powerful role in shaping our attitudes towards death. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Social Policy found that individuals from cultures where death is considered a taboo topic tend to avoid discussions about end-of-life plans and death itself, leading to increased stress and a lack of preparation. Story example. Sarah, 80, grew up in a culture where death was not talked about openly. When her husband passed away, she found herself overwhelmed with emotions and unprepared. She wishes she had discussed death with him earlier, so that they could have made plans for his final days and shared their feelings. Practical tip. Try to break the silence. Start small by talking to a trusted friend or family member about your thoughts on death. Sharing this conversation in a comfortable environment can help ease the discomfort. If you've experienced the cultural taboo around discussing death, comment Reason 2 below and tell us how it has affected you. Reason 3. The desire to protect loved ones. Many seniors avoid discussing death because they don't want to burden their loved ones with the pain and sadness of the topic. There's a natural instinct to protect family members, especially children, from the realities of aging and mortality. This desire to shield others can lead to avoidance. The science behind it. Psychologist Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, known for her work on death and dying, suggests that avoiding death discussions often comes from a place of love and concern. Seniors fear that talking about death will upset their loved ones, especially if they have already experienced the loss of friends or spouses. Story example. John, 76, always avoided discussing death with his children. He didn't want to worry them, so he kept his health issues and concerns to himself. But when John had a health scare that required immediate attention, his family was completely unprepared and didn't know how to support him. This led to a breakdown in communication and left John feeling isolated. Practical tip: it's important to remember that your loved ones want to support you. Open up about your health and your end-of-life wishes, so they can be prepared and understand your wishes. If you've ever held back on talking about death to protect others, comment reason 3 below and share how it has impacted you. Reason 4: denial of mortality. One of the biggest reasons people avoid talking about death is the denial of mortality. Many seniors find it difficult to accept that death is a part of life. As we age, it's natural to feel that time is slipping away, and facing the reality of our own mortality can feel overwhelming. The science behind it: denial is a defense mechanism that helps individuals avoid painful truths. According to a study from the University of California, denial can protect individuals from experiencing extreme anxiety, but can also prevent them from preparing for their final years. While denial may offer temporary relief, it can also lead to emotional numbness and an inability to process loss. Story example: Helen, 82, has always been a vibrant woman who enjoyed life to the fullest. However, when her doctor suggested discussing a living will, she immediately shut down the conversation. She felt it was too early and that she had plenty of time left. Unfortunately, her health deteriorated unexpectedly, and she was unprepared for the sudden changes. Practical tip: acknowledge that aging and death are part of life. By accepting this reality, you can start to plan for your future and ensure that your loved ones are prepared as well. If you've ever struggled with the idea of mortality, comment reason 4 below and share how you've handled it. Reason 5: emotional avoidance. Death is not just a physical event, it's an emotional one. The grief, sadness, and fear that come with the thought of death can be overwhelming. For many seniors, avoiding death talk is a way to avoid these painful emotions. The science behind it: psychological research shows that avoiding difficult emotions can lead to long-term emotional problems, including depression, anxiety, and unresolved grief. A study from Harvard Medical School found that those who avoid addressing their emotions are more likely to experience emotional distress in the long term. Story example: Mark, 70, lost his wife to cancer a few years ago. He avoided talking about her death because the pain was too much to bear. Over time, Mark began to feel emotionally isolated and depressed. With the help of a therapist, he started to process his grief, and he learned how to talk about his feelings in a healthier way. Practical tip: embrace your emotions rather than running from them. Find a safe space to express your feelings, whether it's through journaling, therapy, or talking to someone you trust. If you've ever avoided emotions related to death, comment reason 5 below and let's talk about it. Reason 6: fear of losing control. As we age, we often fear losing control over our health, our decisions, and even our end-of-life process. Talking about death means acknowledging that we may not be in control of everything, which can feel overwhelming and frightening. The science behind it: control is an essential psychological need. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, the desire for control can significantly impact emotional well-being. As seniors face the inevitability of death, the fear of losing control over their circumstances often leads to avoidance. The idea of leaving behind decisions about our life and death to others can trigger anxiety. Story example: Anne, 75, always prided herself on her independence. After a serious fall, her children insisted that she move into an assisted living facility and felt that her autonomy was slipping away, and the thought of planning for her death seemed like she was relinquishing control. By discussing her wishes with her family and working with a lawyer, Anne was able to regain some control over her final decisions, reducing her anxiety. Practical tip: take small steps toward taking control of your end-of-life decisions. This could involve creating a will, having a conversation about your wishes with family members, or even exploring options like advance directives. By doing so, you regain a sense of control, which can reduce anxiety about the future. If you've ever felt a loss of control or feared the idea of losing autonomy, comment reason 6 below and share your experiences with us. So, We've explored 6 major reasons why so many seniors avoid talking about death, from fear of the unknown to cultural taboos, emotional avoidance, and the desire to maintain control. These are all powerful forces that shape our relationship with mortality. However, understanding why we avoid the subject is the first step toward overcoming our fears. It's essential to recognize that avoiding the topic of death can have long-term effects on both your emotional and physical well-being. By talking openly about death, you not only free yourself from the burden of denial and fear, but you also pave the way for meaningful conversations with your loved ones. This can strengthen your relationships and help ensure that your wishes are respected when the time comes. Now that we've explored these reasons, I want to encourage you to take the first step. Whether it's starting a conversation with your family, seeking professional help to cope with your emotions, or simply taking some time to reflect on your own mortality, every step counts. Remember, it's never too late to begin the journey toward acceptance and peace. Which of these reasons resonated with you the most? What are your thoughts on discussing death with your loved ones? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights on how to live a fuller, more peaceful life. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Life is about living with purpose and peace. By accepting death as a part of life, we can enjoy the time we have more fully and create lasting memories with those we love. As we discussed each of the reasons, I encourage you to comment below with your own experiences. Have you ever struggled with talking about death? Have you overcome any of these barriers? Sharing your story can help others who might feel the same way, and together we can create a supportive community. If you found this video insightful, please like and share it with friends or family who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video focused on improving mental health and living a fulfilling life.